So as a CPA, that leads to my next question. What's the difference between looking at the numbers as a CPA and looking at the numbers as a dealer owner?
That's a great question. And you all have lived it, maybe. There's nothing like laying on your office floor, feeling like you've got a boulder on your chest, wondering how you're going to make payroll. They don't teach you that in school, and I got a lot of school. My dad once said to me, "Oh, Carrie, don't worry. I have a little money set aside if you ever need some help. I've got $5,000. Oh, thanks, Dad. Payroll's 30 grand. Thanks, though. I didn't tell him how much it was, but the reality is so very different than school.
And so in looking at the numbers, obviously you're someone who believes in those. Tell us your experience with the numbers as a dealer principal.
Okay.
And what you found more and less important.
So what I did was after I bought my first dealership, somebody quit or something, and I remember standing in my showroom thinking, you know, if I had bought a Subway, they would have handed me a manual of how many dollars I needed to spend, how many people I should have on what shifts and so on. How do I know whether I need to replace this guy or not? I need to find some benchmarks, a roadmap to how to run this business. And at the time, I actually found Spader, and I went to their total management workshop. And it was like handing you the manual of how to succeed. And since then, of course, I have run 4 dealerships and been to a tremendous amount of training, and I get continuous training through my CPAs. And what I have to say is that having met a number of some of the most successful dealers in each of the industries, you simply have to get good at your numbers. Guys who are really successful, they have their numbers tattooed on the insides of their eyelids. And I had a guy come to buy my dealership. He had another dealership in Southern California. He was telling me how successful he was, and it would be no problem to get approval from the floor plan company. So I asked him one simple question. I said, "What's your bottom line as a % of your revenue?" "Oh, I don't know. It's good. It's really good." Well, at that moment, I know there's no way he could be successful enough to qualify for a second floor plan loan. And in the end, the floor plan guy actually alerted me this was a known scammer, and he didn't have the money. But you have to know that. Our bottom lines are so thin. We're looking at a 3 to 5% margin net of revenue. You have to be on that continuously, and you got to know your numbers to be successful. The dealers that we meet that are struggling, they typically are not deep into their numbers, and when you get those benchmarks and nail them down, start managing to those numbers, all of a sudden it's like hitting the combination lock to the safe. Everything just starts falling into place. Shazam, it works.